few will be left wanting underneath the care of restoration spirits. Hello everyone, welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, here with another part of the first edition Pathfinder Shaman guide, looking at the different spirit options, especially since shamans can have not only their primary spirit, but bond daily with a wandering spirit as well. It's important to go over a couple of your different options here, and also this might help inform different builds and playstyles that you may want to go with for yourself. But before we get into everything we have on offer for you today, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now, let's start talking about the life, or more specifically, the restoration option for spirits that the shaman has access to. Now, restoration spirits, they are the secondary option underneath of the life spirit. Not every single category of spirits necessarily has secondary options, but seeing just the stark difference between the two here, it's definitely worth it just to look and see. And for you DMs out there, it's room for you to play with, maybe supplying your own to those spirits that don't have alternate options underneath of them. So, to get started here, for the Restoration Spirit, the bonus spells you get access to are Remove Sickness at first level. For second level, you get Lesser Restoration, great spell. At third level, you get Neutralize Poison. Fourth level is Restoration. Fifth level is Breath of Life. At sixth level, you get Heal, hands down the best healing spell in the game aside from Cure Light Wounds. 7th level, you have Greater Restoration. At 8th level, you get the incredible Mass Heal. And then at 9th level, you pick up True Resurrection. This is an incredible spell list to have. Even if it is just a series of bonus spells, great that you have access to it. This is a huge boost to you as a spellcaster and really heartily cements you in the role of being a healer. Now, for the hexes that you get options in, you have Curse of Suffering. Target creature in 30 feet, they take 1 additional bleed damage. Ability bleed is affected by this too. Effects that restore hit points only do 1/2 their total. The effect lasts 1 round per shaman level, so that's going to be a significant amount of time. Maybe just for 1 encounter, maybe 2, or 1 continuous encounter. But this is great because while healing is not the most effective thing for you to do mid-combat most times, NPCs like getting healed, so the big bad, they're going to enjoy having their hit points restored. You don't want them to restore lost hit points. In fact, you want to minimize that as much as possible. And increasing bleed damage overall is great, but especially affecting their ability bleed is good. If they have a constitution score, reducing that by 2 points, if the bleed is continuous, 2 points each round, that's hit points per level that are being lost. That's lowered fortitude saves. If it's dexterity, they're losing out on their initiative, several skills, reflex saves, their armor class, their ranged attack abilities. All start to tank, so Curse of Suffering is actually a pretty solid pick. But then you also have Shell of Succor. Grant touched target creature temporary hit points equal to your wisdom modifier plus 1d6 every 2 shaman levels. And this lasts for 1 minute per shaman level and is usable 1 time plus your charisma modifier per day. So those extra temporary hit points are fantastic. And even if you just take that average of 3 or 4 for every 1d6, if you're level 8, that's 4d6 temporary hit points. You just take the average there, so 6, 4, and 4, so 14. And if you have an 18 for a wisdom modifier, that's 18 extra hit points that come off the top before actual hit point damage starts being dealt. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know what? For a squishy target like the ranger, the rogue, or the vigilante, or wizards, that's going to be a huge boost. And not only that, but you can apply that to yourself and make you much more survivable, especially if you're making a melee build for a shaman. Then we have Spirit Boost. Casting a healing spell that puts target over their hit point max, excess HP are now kept as temporary hit points for 1 round per shaman level. Not super great because, again, most times healing mid-combat is not something you really want to do, and since you're going to spend most of your time in theory healing outside of combat using a Wand of Cure Light Wounds, even if you get them over their max HP and get them these temporary hit points, this is only lasting 1 round per shaman level. This is not going to really be all that effective for most of your gameplay. I mean, it's not bad, it's cool, it's a nice added kicker, but nothing you're really going to be running with. Then we have Enhanced Cures. When casting a cure spell, the shaman uses their level as the limit for healing instead of the spell limit. So what that means is normally Cure Light Wounds is limited to a max of +5, so 1d8 plus 5 is what you can heal with it. But if you're a level 18 shaman and you're using Enhanced Cures, then that 1d8 is 1d8 plus 18. So that's a significant boost to the healing right there, and is pretty cool, but it's not... Again, you're healing outside of combat, you're probably going to be using Wands of Cure Light Wounds rather than anything else. So while it is a cool, thematic, very useful ability, if you're having to use any cure spells, you're probably not going to be more often than not. So it's not that this isn't a good ability, it's just that in context for how the game mechanics work, it's probably not, it's a good ability you're not going to get a great deal of use of when it is going to be most applicable. Then we have Lifelink. Bond with target creature per shaman level within 30 feet. Each round at the start of the shaman's turn, if the target bonded creature or creatures take 5 hit or more hit point damage, that target heals 5 hit points and the shaman loses 5 hit points. Lasts until bonded target dies, the shaman dies, distance goes beyond 100 feet, or the shaman ends it as an immediate action. So this is a way for you to keep your allies, your teammates alive and in the fight pretty damn reliably, I'd say. So definitely an interesting ability, a very, very useful and effective one, but definitely one you want to play with very carefully. And then lastly, we move on to Life Sight. See if target creatures within 30 feet are living, wounded, dying, dead, confused, disabled, diseased, nauseated, poisoned, sickened, or staggered. At level 12, this ability then functions as blind sight for living creatures that are within 30 feet of the shaman, for a number of rounds equal to your shaman level. So the fact that this ability upgrades as you advance definitely makes this better, but being able to see these different status effects is useful. However, it should be mentioned that most of these are going to be taken care of by the same spell. Unless you are playing in a low magic campaign where maybe you don't want to burn spells as readily, being able to identify what's going on with the target and using different medicinal herbs or other more mundane cures to try to get people through things, this becomes even more useful. But all the way around there, what this is the best for is that blind sight. Yes, it is limited to living creatures, but most campaigns you are going to have living creatures. Particularly at 12th level, living creatures are still going to be coming up frequently enough that this will be useful. Then we have your spirit animal. Your animal appears as the most beautiful and especially healthy version of it, of the type of animal. So if it's a horse or a fox or a crow, it is going to have sleek, full plumage. It's going to be in the full vibrancy of its health, its vigor, and it is going to be, well, healthy. This means that it will gain fast healing 1, or if it already has fast healing, it increases fast healing by 1. So again, it's really great, especially since your spirit animal is how you are going to be refreshing your spells each day. So you definitely want it to be kept alive. Now, as far as the different spirit abilities go, your first spirit ability is channel. You channel positive energy like a cleric equal to your shaman level for determining the amount healed and the DC for it. This, of course, still deals damage to undead and is usable one time plus your charisma modifier times per day. Now, channeling is a useful ability. It's actually pretty solid. I like it well enough, but as Illusory pointed out, and as several other guides have pointed out, this is great because it opens up a lot of other feat options for you for a different kind of build for you to go for, so it's definitely something worth paying attention to. Then for your greater spirit ability, you have Healer's Touch. You gain a +4 bonus on heal checks. That's an untyped bonus, so it's just gonna stack with everything. You can move up to half your speed and touch 6 dying creatures to stabilize them without making a heal check. So, you can see why this isn't super great, because you have magic to do a lot of these same things. And also, if there are 6 separate creatures, that's a lot of things for your DM to have to keep track of. This is something for more of a cinematic kind of situation, or like those big last stands, or some big grueling fight, or the aftermath of one where maybe you going through and healing people is going to have a positive effect on the story somewhere down the line. But in campaigns that are a low magic setting, this ability is going to be worth its weight in freaking platinum and diamonds. I mean, getting that +4 untyped bonus on healing checks is going to be massive. Heck, even in a magic campaign where even if you have regular access to magic, still just having that kind of a significant boost to your heal skill is going to be incredibly useful. Because one, you're just going to be a great healer between this and your wisdom score, and two, this means you don't have to invest quite so many skill points in it, because you throw 1 in there, you get that +3 miscellaneous modifier, so you're already at a 4, then an 8 with this, and potentially sitting at a 12, a +12 on heal with 1 skill point. That's a pretty damn significant heal check right there, with minimal investment. Then we come to your true spirit ability, Spirit of Life. Allows the shaman's spirit animal to cast Stabilize at will, using the shaman's level as the caster level. When the animal is within 30 feet of the shaman, when they cast a cure spell, it can be stored in the spirit animal as with imbue with spell ability, except that it can hold any cure spell the shaman can cast, regardless of its own intelligence or wisdom scores. The spell can be held indefinitely as well, but the shaman can't prepare a new spell in that slot until it's expended. Also, if the animal dies and the spell is still there, then the spell just dissipates with it. It's considered expended at that point. So, this is great because this will allow you to reach out and heal somebody without really having to put yourself at risk. Definitely a great ability, and while Stabilize, the use of that spell in and of itself might have some degree of questionability to it, the fact that your animal spirit can just do this at will, it's better that it does it than you do, so that makes the ability that much better. Now, lastly, we come to the Manifestation at 20th level, your capstone for your spirit abilities. Life Spirit Manifestation. Gain immunity to bleed, death attacks, and negative energy, exhausted condition, fatigued, nauseated, and sickened. Ability damage and ability drain can't reduce any ability score below 1, meaning they can't kill you with it. You auto-succeed at saving throws against massive damage, and when reduced to below 0 hit points, you can't die until the negative hit points exceed double your constitution score. Now, again, with this build, we're sitting at about a 10, so that's a total of 20 right there. And normally, once you hit -10, you're toast. -20 is a nice big boost to all of that. And just imagine, if again you're going with more of a combat build, and you have this as your main spirit and ability, I mean, you could, if you're even at a 15, you're looking at a negative 30 until you die. So that's a huge boost. And then your spirit animal can come over, hit you with a nice solid cure spell that, again, as far as I can tell from all of this, works off of your shaman abilities, meaning that you could potentially be healing at, let's say 3d8 plus 20. You could get yourself back on your feet in the fight, throwing down a mass heal spell, keep everybody up and moving and just moving forwards in the fight. Absolutely incredible combinations that you could make use of here with this and make yourself just an ungodly spell tank in this case. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? What do you think of the restoration spirit overall? Honestly, I really like it. There's a lot of cool stuff here for you to play with. Certainly the regular life option isn't bad. It's just restoration is a nice solid cut above in what it provides for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll engage in discussion. And remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamers Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.